What's up guys, DJ back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about what was the best sealed product investment for evolutions. Why are we talking about this? Because we want to learn from our mistakes. We want to learn from the past and how can we move forward from this, what we missed out, right? So obviously everyone's talking about evolutions, booster boxes. That is still the big trend right now where everyone's saying how much it's grown. It's received maybe like 300 to 400% ROI, return on interest or whatever you want to call it. So 400% increase in price in like a matter like that, right? Now, that didn't happen straight away. In 2016, that set came out and those booster boxes weren't rising like that, There was just so much printed and there was a lot out there. And all of us people who were around at that time were even starting to get sick of evolutions, right? We were starting to get sick of it. There was so much out there. We're just like, blah, blah, And now, obviously, there are a lot more collectors, a lot more investors coming into the game. And I think that had a part in this whole evolutions uptake. Now, what I want to talk about is actually, booster boxes wasn't the real MVP, It wasn't the actual product, the sealed product, that increased the most. If you actually look back, if you think about it, the sealed product that increased the most was the pre-release build and battle deck box somewhere up here, right? So I've spoken about this a little bit in Vivid Voltage, that pre-release box to invest in that. And this was partially the reason why I made that video, because that pre-release box right now, if you can find one on eBay or if you can find one on the market, they're selling for about $1,000. Some I think I've sold for $2,000. Now I think $2,000 is a bit much, but $1,000 plus easy, right? And that is a pre-release deck box. Okay, how much was that back in the day? It was $43, right? That's how much those things were going for. $40, $40 for a pre-release box, and now they're going for about $1,000 if you can find one. There's not many out there because it's not like booster boxes. They don't really do that, They don't really be like, oh, pre-release kits, let's print millions of them, Pre-release kits, all right, they're a little bit, they fly under the radar because a lot of the time they're not the best investments. A lot of the time, they're just to, start off the set. Hey, here's some pre-release kits. It's got 4 booster packs. It has a little bit of information on the set, how to play, and it's got some of those pre-release stamped cards, usually 4 promo cards. And that was what made this pre-release kit more expensive, because there's 4 pre-release cards, mainly being, one of them being the Charizard with a pre-release stamp. That is the only way to get that card. I know there's a staff version of that, but I still think, that's your best bet to get that pre-release Charizard. And that Charizard sells for quite a lot too. Also hard to grade. I mean, they're all hard to grade, those Charizards. I don't know what it is. It must be the artwork, must be the holographic around it. But generally hard to grade, hard to get a 10. I've got sold listings up on the screen for you guys so you can actually see the prices. And, it's interesting because obviously I didn't invest in that. And I think a lot of us didn't. I have seen 1 or 2 people on Facebook Marketplace and just on Facebook groups showing that they have one, taking a chance in opening one, or, even prepared to sell one. And obviously their price is like $1,000 plus. Now, if you look at that, right, the booster box back then was $150. It only rose to about $700 like in the last couple weeks. So that's what? 3 times your money? 550, 300, 450, maybe 4 times your money. All right, 4 times your money. But that pre-release deck box was only like $40. Let's just say that was $50, make it even, right? You could have bought 3 of those for the price of a booster box. Now, granted, if I told you that, when that came out, 2016, 4 years ago, you would have laughed at me because you would have been like, a booster box is $150, you get 36 packs. In the deck box, you get 4 packs only, 4 packs. So if you got 3 of those pre-release boxes and you got 4 packs, that's only 12 booster packs, right? So you'd be like, only 12 booster packs versus 36? No brainer. Get the booster box. Right, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. But if you look at it this way, you're forgetting about the pre-release stamped cards. that you can't get from booster boxes at all, right? And the thing is, if you invested in a booster box then, all right, it took you 4 years to get to $700, right? 4 years. That's not bad, but you know what? The pre-release kits are better, okay? So $150 to $700, that's your profit of $550. Let me do the math, $550, okay? That's your profit in 4 years' time. If you bought the same amount of pre-release decks to match the booster box, if you bought those 3 pre-releases to be like, well, instead of buying a $150 booster box, I'll buy 3 of those kits to equal a booster box, you would be, you know, that's about $3,000 right now in this market, all right? In 4 years' time, $3,000. What's better, $700, $3,000, profit $550 versus what is it? $2,850 profit. Okay, if you were to invest in that, and that's what I'm trying to share with you guys as well. And if you think about it, that's what these pre-release kits all like. They fly under the radar. Like we always talk about ETBs, we always talk about booster boxes, but you know what? Vivid Voltage is going to get a pre-release kit. And I have spoken about this already. If you haven't seen that video, go check that out if you want. But that has a pre-release Charizard in it. And I have a feeling, it's not going to be exactly the same, but I have a feeling it's going to do really well. It's not going to be the same because that artwork is totally different to the base set Charizard. And that's what the whole Evolutions hype is about, is that base set Evolutions Charizard artwork, which everybody loves. Old school, new school, they all love that artwork. And that's why Evolutions... people want it. Those Evolutions Charizards, they're trying to get them, trying to grade them and stuff, and they're buying booster boxes at these prices because those Charizards are going up. That's partially the reason, right? So, it's not going to have the same effect, this Vivid Voltage Charizard, but it is a Charizard. It has a pre-release stamp. The other time we saw this was with Team Up, all right? And those pre-release kits, I saw one on eBay just this morning going for about $75. I still think that's a really good price. I think that's, cheap. I might have to buy that before I post this video just so nobody else gets it, all right? And I don't even like buying anything above retail price. I say that a lot of the time, but $75 for a pre-release deck box, still sealed, Team Up, all right? That Team Up booster box has gone up in price. I did make a video on booster box prices for Sun and Moon. Feel free to check that out if you want, about the growth for that. So Team Up booster boxes was one of the booster boxes that grew so much as well. So the pre-release kit, I feel, is underrated for Team Up, all right? And paying $75 doesn't sound too bad. I saw somebody selling a whole, pre-release box that has 10 of them, all right? That's going for $750, so like $75 each. So 75 times 10, $750. That makes sense, okay? If you get a pre-release Charizard out of that and it grades really well, easily your money back, 100% guaranteed. But the thing is, it's not guaranteed because you don't know what you're going to get. And it's same with the Evolutions pre-release kit. You don't know if you're going to get that Charizard. You might get the Mewtwo. You might get the Machamp. You might get Gyarados, okay? But that's why the premium is on that, sealed item. I know we'd like to compare sealed items to sealed items, which is the best sealed item. And a lot of my videos, I have said booster boxes rise most of the time, if not all the time, but most of the time. They either stay the same or they rise in value. So it almost feels like a safer bet. But those pre-release kits, you're only spending like $40 Australian, guys, Australian prices. So $40 versus $150. If you're the type of guy or person or girl that doesn't have that much capital and you're thinking about investing, pre-release kits aren't too bad if they have a good pre-release stamp, okay? I mean, not pre-release stamp. If they have a good card with the pre-release stamp on it. So obviously Charizard being that really good card, right? And that is same with Vivid Voltage. Vivid Voltage has that Charizard in that pre-release stamp in the pre-release building battle deck box, okay? So, that's... well, it's meant to be $40. At this point in time, I think people are selling it for, double that or whatever. But if you can find a pre-order on that, that is a good one. Theme decks also generally don't go up in price either, but certain theme decks do, okay? Vintage theme decks, That's a given. We know. They're like old. 25 years old, 10 years, 15 years old. But certain theme decks do increase in price, such as Team Up. Why? Team Up has Blastoise and they have a Charizard theme decks. All right, they have those cards in them and they've gone up in price. And I had a question. Somebody asked me about what do I think about the Vivid Voltage theme deck. I think it's kind of a safer bet to get that because it has the Charizard in it, okay? And I know people are sick of Charizards and stuff, but it's just what it is. It's kind of facts. You know, the Charizards, people pay for them, all right? People like them. So, you know, it's kind of a no-brainer by now, but that Charizard theme deck, you know, I prefer the Vivid Voltage pre-release box and keep that sealed. But that theme deck's even cheaper than that. So if you're a person that doesn't have $40 to spend or $150 to spend on a booster box, that theme deck might be a good investment too, you know. Theme decks, I mean, they're not the most sought after if you're finding a buyer for it, but I think it will still sell, okay? The Team Up theme decks, they've gone up, I think, double or triple in price since they came out. The pre-release kits for Evolutions is 100% the best sealed investment you could have made for Evolutions. And I say that in the hopes of like sharing with you guys. It's not just booster boxes to think about. Sometimes there's other products out there that you could invest in that is actually cheaper. That is cheaper and that can grow faster, all right? And it all depends on what's inside, what's the goodies. And, you know, the pre-release kit, it costs $1,000, but if you open it, it might have a Machamp. All of a sudden, that's not $1,000. That Machamp is like, I think, $250. The other pre-release cards in there aren't as valuable as the Charizard. They're still nice to have. But if you're paying $1,000 for it, which I honestly wouldn't right now. I'm just saying, if you lived in the past, 100% that would have been the best sealed product investment you could have made for Evolutions. Even before this price hike for the booster boxes, those Evolutions pre-release kits were seeing like $500 each. You know, that's a huge growth from $40 to $500. And that was way before any of these booster boxes were going up in price, okay? So that's my suggestions moving on for the future. You know, if you are a person that doesn't have that much money and you're thinking about what else can I invest in? Does it just have to be booster boxes? Does it have to be ETBs? Nope. There's a lot of things you can, but I would still be wary of the fact that, you know, a lot of them don't always rise in value. It just depends what's inside. What's the contents inside the box? Because that's the main thing. That's important. The only reason that pre-release kit is selling for so much, even more than the booster box, is because of that pre-release Charizard, okay? There's the potential for that pre-release Charizard, and that's what people want. That's what costs money. If you get that graded, big money there, all right? Big money. I think that pre-release Charizard sells for just as much as the normal Charizard without the pre-release stamp, or even more. I know the Staff 100% even more. That's probably like top tier, you know? So that was definitely the best sealed investment to make in that. And I think moving forward, we could see that again. And Vivid Voltage might be an example of this. Team Up, their pre-release kits, I think, are still undervalued. $75. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I might be able to get one. Well, you know, that Charizard from the Team Up pre-release kit also sells for a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if the trend keeps going, that those theme decks would go up even further. $75 is like what? Less than double the price for kind of, I wouldn't say a vintage pre-release kit, but it kind of is, considering that Team Up came out like 2 or 3 years ago, all right? And you know, like I said, with reprints, they generally, pre-release kits don't get reprinted. From what I've seen, they just don't. I mean, it'd be weird if they did that, but the whole point of pre-release kits is to get those people into, you know, that set, you know. It's like an introduction to Team Up. That's why they usually come out first, and people open them. They go to those tournaments, I think, or the first day of opening, and then they have pre-release kits available. I was never really a fan of pre-release kits, but if you do look at them, you know, a lot of them do decrease in value, but at the end of the day, it always comes down to what's inside. And that's the same with the booster boxes. We know that there's 36 packs. There's a good ratio of holos and Vs or Vmaxes or, whatever it is, EXGX, depends what era you're from, but, we know how many's in there, and that's why people pay for that. But these pre-release kits, I tell you right now, if you find something similar to Evolutions, Team Up, or even Vivid Voltage, it looks like it's a good way to go. Now, the thing is, we're in a different time, all right? We're in a different time from 4 years ago, so you got to be quick with these pre-release kits because they don't last long, okay? And like I said in my other video, I think there's people already selling from double or triple the value, all right? So they've already pre-ordered these pre-release kits, and they pay standard price, $40 or whatever it is, and they're selling it for $80, $90, $100, $120, okay? So if you want to do the same as them or you want to hold on to them, that's entirely up to you. That's another conversation, I don't hold anything against any flippers or anything like that. You know how they pretty much get their order and then they sell it straight away, right, for a profit, because that's changing money into more money real quick, okay? But if you're the type of person to hold, then that's entirely up to you. I do have another video coming out very soon in regards to flippers versus investors and, long-term and short-term investing, because I think that's important to know. And, a lot of people feel negatively, to flippers, but it's part of the game these days. So it's something that I want to share with you guys. And hopefully this video helps you, understand there's other things out there. There's other products out there that you could potentially get, especially if you don't have that much money, that is potentially, has a lot of potential, has a lot of investability in it due to certain things inside that product, namely being a Charizard pre-release card or anything else that might seem, is a go-getter, But that's all I have for today. I'll see you guys next time, 2 to 3 days time. And bye.